If you're a BDR, SDR, or AE and you're looking to get your next promotion in tech sales, what's very important is you must develop your personal brand. Now, in this episode today, I want to share with you a conversation I had as a guest on a podcast called the Sales Evangelist Podcast. The host is Donald C. Kelly. We have a deep conversation, about 20 minutes, half an hour, I think it was, where I go into the importance of building a personal brand as a sales rep in tech sales, whether you're a BDR, SDR, and AE. It'll help you get promoted faster, you earn more money, and also as a rep in general, especially for an AE, it's going to help you able to self-source more deals, bring in more opportunities, inbound leads to you, just by having a strong personal brand. So I hope you enjoyed this interview that I have where I share my nuggets, my experience, the power of having a personal brand while working in tech sales. Enjoy.
I've heard you talk about this before, Donald. I'm sure some of you are going to say that about the personal brand, but hear me out. Hear me out before you go. Think about what could happen if your personal brand literally was actually working for you. And there's several things that we miss when it comes to it. For goodness sakes, I was missing some of these, but I learned, and I want you to take the idea from this episode and apply it. And if it can't benefit you, share it with somebody else, but I promise you it can help. Check it out. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another great episode of the Sales Evangelist Podcast. I'm your host, Donald C. Kelly, the Sales Evangelist, and I'm so excited for another great episode. I'm so excited to be here with you today. And on this episode, I have the one and only Mr. Ian Agard. Ian and I connected on LinkedIn. Ian has this amazing ability to be able to just connect really well with people. And I think it comes from the brand that he's built. And obviously he was a marketer at one point and became a seller and became a sales leader and a sales coach and guides people and helps individuals like you and I on a day-to-day basis. And I thought it would make sense to have a conversation. He and I engaged on LinkedIn because of the things that he's going to teach in this episode when it comes to personal branding. So he's going to share some ideas with you, and I want you to apply them because there are things that we're missing, especially in 2024. And I'm not going to give you all of that. Ian will give you some of those today in this episode. But before we dive in, if this is your first time listening to the podcast, please subscribe, please. And go ahead and connect with me on LinkedIn. You can find me, Donald C. Kelly, Donald C. Kelly. If you would like, we have a mastermind beginning this October where sellers like yourself come together. We practice, we share insights, we work together. And you can find all the details of that by going into the show notes or go to thesalesevangelist.com/mastermind, thesalesevangelist.com/mastermind. It's a paid mastermind, and I would love to have you. We only take about 10 to 12 individuals per cohort, and this cohort is going to be amazing. Love to have you join us this October. As we dive in, you get a chance to learn about why Ian feels so strongly about personal branding, and especially some of the mistakes that we're making, especially in 2024. I said especially multiple times there. Especially again. Ian, welcome to the show.
Donald, thank you so much. I'm blessed to be a guest on your show. Thank you for having me here.
Well, I'm truly humbled by it, and I'm grateful to be able to have you. Everyone brings insights that can help us to, help other sellers with the stories and with the examples. And you may have some perspectives that can really help folks that are listening today. So before we dive in, I bragged about you a little bit in a teaser, told people how you're, focus on, helping sellers to improve their game. But talk to me a little bit more about the detail of how you go about doing that, about what you offer to sellers.
Yeah, so I run a sales coaching program called Level Up, and it's basically a 4-week program where basically I help BDRs, SDRs, AEs earn the next promotion within 3 to 6 months. So the bulk of it is it's kind of a pyramid, right? There's 3 levels to it. I focus first on the mindset of reps. I think mindset is so huge when it comes to success and sports and performance, and it's overlooked.
Yeah.
Let's focus on that first. Once your mindset's dialed in with a vision and goals and beliefs, we tackle the habits. And we dive into what daily habits make you successful, from prospecting to reading to all those other things, right? And the last part we talk about is just the skills. What skills, whether you're a BDR or AE, every skill is a bit different, but what skills you need to master to make sure that you're crushing your quota and getting that promotion or whatever your income goals are. So that's what I do in a nutshell. Yeah.
I love it. So let's break it down real quick and dive in. I'm a sales rep. I want to use LinkedIn. I want to become better at LinkedIn, but I just don't necessarily know how to use it. The first component, before you start pitching people and start getting people to try to buy from you, is something that you and I spoke about before we talked. is a personal brand. And as soon as we start talking about personal brand, people might be thinking, well, Donald, I'm not in marketing, I'm in sales. When you say personal brand for sellers, dictate to me or paint that picture to me of what that means with personal brand. Do I need to start going out doing brand guide? Do I need to, create like a slogan? What is that brand for a salesperson? You know what I mean? Explain that.
Great question. Yeah, and I struggle with this myself. So this is what I see, and I'm obviously not an expert, but
Sure.
I've had a little bit of success doing it. I would say your personal brand is basically this. When people look at you and see you or they think of you, what comes up? Is it, oh, I'm a Christian. Oh, I have a father. Oh, I have 2 daughters. Oh, I'm a new graduate. Just share your life, share your journey, obviously respectfully based on your company's values. And I think personal brand is about that. So, for example, if you're a new BDR, share that, hey, I'm new at this job. I'm excited to be at the company. Next content could be, hey, our company's brought this new feature. But as long as you're sharing your journey, hey, my goals for the next year could be this. I want a vacation here. Obviously, it should be a mix of personal and professional because it's not like Instagram. But you have to make sure people know you, like you, and trust you. So when they want to make that buying decision or have that conversation, you're there. And I hope that kind of paints a picture in a nutshell. Just 1 second, we'll go back to the video. If you're a BDR, SDR, or AE, and you want to learn how to earn between $100,000 to $200,000 per year working in tech sales, then I have a free video training for you. In this training video, I'll walk you through my mindset first selling framework, which allowed me and other people I've coached to earn between $100,000 to $200,000 per year working in tech sales. It's a free training. All you have to do is click the link below, be sent to a website like something like this. Put in your email, you get instant access to this training. Okay, now let's go back to the remaining of this video.
So essentially creating something that people can know, like, and trust me with, and that they'll feel comfortable doing business with me even before they even talk to me.
Yeah, and the reality is we all have a personal brand. Like
Yeah.
right now, if as a rep at
That's true.
work, the only difference is you're being intentional about it. You are being very, and celebrities are great at this. They're great at that. It's just now you're doing it for yourself. And it could be 2 things. It could be helping you getting more deals as a rep or helping you promoting your company. So I think it's important to look at it 2 ways, more deals or another promotion.
So now how do I go about establishing that brand? Where do I start? So I'm listening to this. I like it. I want people to see me. I want them to want to do business with me before they even do business with me. But if I need to build this personal brand, where do I begin?
Yeah. So I think what I would suggest is before you start posting stuff or put anything on content, have a vision for your life. Like, ask yourself this question: in 3 years, where would I want to be? And then work backwards from that. Write down, what are your values? What do you stand for? Like, for example, I'm Christian, so I'm very clear about what I say on social media and I'm not afraid about it. If you don't like it, then don't follow me. But my point is that be clear about your values because that's what people, they're drawn to that.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to be vanilla and be like, I don't want to say these things. Obviously respectful. I'm not saying put hate content out, but be true to who you are. And once you're clear with your vision, your values, then putting content out there. So I guess the more tactical stuff is have a clear photo that's who you are, smiling. And then from that point, I would say at the bare minimum, post once a week on a platform like LinkedIn and just share your journey. That's it. Literally share your journey. And you'll be surprised how much you can get that from just sharing your journey, which means that struggles, wins, new products, things you're thinking about, what your company's doing, and share the journey as that 3-year vision of your life.
Interesting. And I love what you share. It's almost like one of my friends, Patrice Washington, she calls it like put the line in the sand. This is what I stand for. This is what I'm passionate about. This is where I am. Or raising that flag, like this is the message that the hill that I'm going to die on, so to speak. And you'll turn out that other people will say, well, I like that line in the sand. I will go there. I won't go across that line as well. And some may say, screw that. I want to go past that. And that's okay. Let them go. But you have now, this is my message. This is my flag. This is the banner. As an individual contributor, as a salesperson, let's use a fictitious, well, let's not do fictitious. Let's talk about yours, because I know you had a digital marketing company at one point, and you specifically sold to attorneys,
Yeah.
and you built a brand all around that. And I would love for you to tell me, I know there's a story that you had where, you closed some business from that, but one of the stories, do you mind sharing that with us, and then we can break that down?
Yeah. And this is the strategy that was kind of like, just kind of like hunting, pure hunting. And that's one way to do it. There's hunting and there's farming. So this is the hunting story. So basically, the great thing about LinkedIn is that you can then, better than any other social media platform, is that you can curate your own audience. You can say, I'm looking for VP of sales at SaaS companies with this kind of revenue, and build your brand, curate your audience. So for instance, for me, I was creating lawyers, law firm owners. And once they got in my ecosystem, I just had a message, a DM message. Once they connected with me, I said, hey, my name's Ian. I do X, Y, and Z. I help lawyers do this. I'd love to be able to show you how I can help you potentially get more leads. Would this be interesting to you? DM me yes for more information. And it was a numbers game, and I got my first client and many others, but that was the first client by just doing that. She said, yeah, Ian, we're actually looking for more leads. And then the conversation offline on Zoom, and then close the deal. So, yeah.
So how did your personal brand help to get that to come through the gate?
Yeah. So you have to put content out there. So you have to be well-versed, because usually what happens when people connect with you on LinkedIn, they either look at your bio, for your content first, like your profile, and just bullet points. Okay, like about you, wherever you worked, if you have any like testimonials or case studies. So in that sense, I worked before that at a company called Clio, which is a big software for lawyers. So that's big there. When people see Clio, they kind of know what you're talking about. That was then. So I think that helped me then. I had another story where it actually worked better, the brand. But my point is that you have to have some sense of a bio, a value statement, and some content that shows that you know what you're talking about in that space.
What content were you sharing at that time? What were you posting?
Yeah. So for me, one of the things I saw that a lot of lawyers were not doing as well was creating content on YouTube, like building their brand on YouTube, right? So I was really bullish about creating content. I read LinkedIn articles to share with lawyers the opportunity they're missing because of the audience and YouTube, and the video adds more likability. Yeah. And that's what I was creating, and that at the end of the person actually hired me to for their YouTube channel. That's what they hired me for. So that's what worked out. Yeah.
So the brand that you built, your content, the things that you're sharing on LinkedIn, you are addressing why YouTube should be considered, why they should create videos. You were talking a lot about that with your brand. So you became known in their eyes as this is the person that has the expertise on marketing content, on topics relevant to us, that can really address and help me as a lawyer, as an attorney.
Yeah, and I think when it comes to personal brand, there is an element of niching. And if you don't know what, obviously if you don't know what niching is, it's just being known as something specific, right? In this noisy market. And just share something that you're passionate about. So in that case, YouTube was passionate about that. And I saw there was a gap where not all, but most lawyers were afraid of the camera and like, it's for kids. But so that's what I was sharing. That's a lot of things like that's not, so yeah.
But that helps. All right. So this is an example. This was really good. And I think it gives us all a good visual of, knowing that we should post content. It doesn't matter what kind of content do I post if I'm trying to build my personal brand, audio, video, text, or yes, no.
Yeah. I think it's a healthy mix. From what I found, the ones that gets the most engagement, like likes and comments, is a photo. Mm-hmm. For example, I did one recently where I did a 5-year, like 5 years ago, here's my photo of me doing this. Now fast forward this, so and contrast, right? Like, a story, right? But I would mix it up. Photo, short videos, nothing more than 30 seconds. It's like the engagement's very, very like, you need to be quick with this. Yeah. So photo, video, and then what works well too is something called slideshows, where it's kind of like you have to click it and slide it. And it's like a slideshow. It's high engagement. So I would do the mix of that. And also just post a quick content, written text, So if you have 4 types of content you can create and just recycle that with different things, you'll definitely have enough to engage people. Yeah.
And I want to go back. I want to share some experience with that too. Like when you think about the content that you're. It will give you my example. You shared yours. I want to share some. I think it kind of ties well because everything that you're saying just like so resonate well. I found out about this, Ian, by accident, right? So the way I started, I was a software sales rep. I had no right going out telling people how to become better seller. I was just a sales rep, and all I was doing, I wasn't trying to become a guru. I was a sales rep just telling people like you and I talking and saying, bro, this is what I tried and it worked. Like, it's amazing. Or I reached out to this person and did this and like, dude, it worked. Like I have a conversation now, or I booked an appointment, or I closed a deal and this is why, blah, blah, blah. So because of that, my episode was resonating with other salespeople because they felt like this was like them, right? And then I had people reach out to me as well, and I got opportunities from it. But then I started to see that not only did it work on audio, it works on Facebook, and then it also worked on like LinkedIn. And my LinkedIn game at first was really the spammer, like you're talking about. Everyone, we go on a platform and we just will tell everyone about. I was telling everyone that I connected with and pitching them in my connection requests and telling them to, buy for our solution. We were selling managed IT services before that. Then I went into software. But what started to change was as I started to address the problems that they were having with the content, right? So kind of like what you're saying with the lawyer stuff there. I was looking at it and seeing, well, people were not doing blank. So let me talk about that. And when you think about human psychology, everybody has problems. If I can just understand what the problem or difficulty that they have, and you can explain the solution or that problem, none of them is such a solution, but if you can explain the problem better than they can, they deem you as the expert and knowledgeable on that. And that's what you need to become good at. People, it doesn't matter, and I hope this doesn't sound too off, but it doesn't matter the solution. Oftentimes when I work with clients and people that learn, they feel that my knowledge of the problem is so good that almost better than them or to their level, they just was like, okay, so how do we, what's the next step? It's not like, well, now let's just give me a full out breakdown of every detail and why you're going to do it. They're like, Donald sounds like you can fix the problem. All right. What's the next steps? What are the options? Here's several options. Cool. Let's go with this one. Let's make it happen. And as opposed to, let me tell you all about my solution, but become a master of the problem. And the contents that best do that and give some, explanation, give some tips on how they can solve that. People fall in love with that. They're like, man, clearly understands me, clearly knows how to fix it. I'm going to follow them. And then next thing is like, well, they know how to do it. So why do I try it myself? Let me just go ask Ian and his company to fix it for me. You know what I mean?
I'll give an example, like people listening, right? Think about the last time you bought a product, right? I'm pretty certain, or at least the last 5 products, I'm pretty certain at some level, you engage some kind of content over 1, 2, 3, 4 times before making that buying decision, right? So I think to not be in that game in any level, whether you're a rep or a business owner or whatever, you're just leaving money on the table. And like I said, it's not, I'm gonna say it's a silver bullet, but like I said, it's definitely something if you can be consistent with and just be patient. You'll see success, you'll see revenue, deals, or whatever you're looking for. It will come.
So I'm building my personal brand. I'm an individual contributor. I got to make phone calls. And I'm not trying to become the marketer. I'm not trying to become the marketing team, but I do recognize I need to have that. You shared, something very easy we can do is just post content once a week. We talked about different types of content, and then we gave some, what they could focus on. But is there anything else that I may be missing as an individual contributor when it comes to building that personal brand for myself?
I think giving in some level, right? Giving. So it's pretty obvious. You see a lot of these big companies and people that give charity donations and being photo ops, right? There's a reason why. Obviously, they want to give because it's good, but also it's a great branding, right? I know law firms that, this big lawyer, and I think in Detroit, every single year, he gives away, I think on the first day of the school year, all these inner city kids backpacks and books to go to school. And his photo ops there, right? Yeah. Boom. Great branding, right? So I guess as an individual contributor, what I would do, this might like a social media thing, but in your company, who can you help? Yeah. Who can you mentor? How can you get involved with things outside of your wheelhouse that when these things are done, this is more of a promotional thing, I'm getting deals, But I think that helps you get promoted fast when you're doing work outside your wheelhouse to share and give. So yeah, I think that's what it is. And it kind of also gets that reciprocity wheel rolling. That if you help people out, the good things come back to you in ways you can't even see it. But yeah.
What I like with this too, the idea of giving. I remember when somebody first told me about this, Ian, I was like, "What? I ain't got nothing to give. I don't know what I need to do. I'm just a new sales rep." But what I saw is that oftentimes people, like I'll give you an example. The other day I was connecting with this prospect that I'm trying to do some business with, and one of the things we talked about was she was looking for a new sales leader. And that's my world, right? Salespeople. So of course I could probably recommend a salesperson, a sales leader to her, but that's something she needs. It wasn't like asking for money or, whatnot, but that's something I can do to give. Or introduction. We all know people. I can see that. Yeah, if you help lawyers and your brand is teaching that you help lawyers, I could look at that and say, all right, dude, I know a couple lawyers that I probably could introduce Ian to. I'm trying to get Ian's attention, but that's giving. And or even if it's like you notice that there's a problem, or you talk about that problem. You give without the idea of like, I want to get something in return. Like the natural law states that reciprocity is going to happen. But it's not like I'm going to give you this and now you got to make an appointment with me, Ian. But I just help you out, benefit come. And I think for individual contributors, we don't see how that can happen. Sometimes we don't think about that as a way to build that brand, because here's the key again. We don't want to be a small fish in a big pond. We want to be a big fish in a small pond. So go back to what you say, niching down. If I'm in the software space for SMBs in Albuquerque, like that's my pond. That's not a huge pond. Can I be known in that pond? Every mover and shaker know me in that pond. And yeah, it's not improbable. That can happen. And if you're building a brand, and if you're sharing content, and you're looking for ways to help people and connecting with people in that world and helping them, I mean, come on, man, money in a bank. There's so many ways that you can do this.
Yeah, and I think the higher you go, it's tough. I mean, I get it. I've been that BDR, new BDR. I hit my quota and I get fired. So I get it. The last thing I probably think of is like, how am I going to give, man? I just want to get my dials up. But the higher you go up in the social status, like you can say, I think you see people, they know that, hey, when I give, it comes back. There's a reason why these billionaires give these big checks out, because they know it comes with branding and taxes and all of the things that happen on a maybe spiritual level that comes back in that. So yeah, it's definitely giving in some level. Yeah.
I love it, man. So we gave some really good ideas today. Recap, you got to build a personal brand. 2, you got to share content to build that brand. 3, you got to make sure you give. And ultimately, we are doing this because we want to make sure that when people see us on a platform like LinkedIn, they're learning and knowing us before we even reach out to them on a cold call or before we even send that message. They know us and understand us and can best help us to be able to do so. Any closing thoughts, Ian, before we wrap up right now?
Yeah, I would say like I said again, right? Not to feel like it's like the best thing, but I think any platform you use or any way, start today and just start building your brand, because it's farming. It's not really hunting, it's farming. But you plant those seeds today, in 90 days, in 120 days, you're going to see some fruit. And you'll be like, wow, why didn't I start this a year ago? So yeah. Love it, man. Ian, thank you so much for coming on the show today. Folks want to get in touch with you to learn more about you. Where can they go to do so? Yeah, hey man, it's LinkedIn. So it's Ian Agard on LinkedIn. Check out my profile, check my brand, and hopefully I can connect and see what happens from that point. Well, I appreciate it, man. Thanks, Ian. All right, thank you, Donald. Hey, that was Ian. I'm telling you, the stuff was great. That content idea, sharing more content. And I know some of you are talking about it and say you know to do it. But here's what I would say. Why you ain't doing it? Because I felt it. I've been there. I just didn't want to feel like people are judging the stuff that I'm sharing or feel that I'm just trying to put stuff out there to show off. But listen, I have something to say. You have something to say. And people need to hear that. So I would encourage you to share what you feel. And if you're enjoying this podcast today, I encourage you to share it with somebody else. Connect with me on LinkedIn, especially with Ian as well. There's especially, again, I think that's the code word for this episode.
As always, I want you to thrive. I want you to build pipe. I want you to close deal. I want you to move deals faster through the pipeline. Most importantly, I want you to raise your level of thinking. And I want you to go out and do big things. See you in the mastermind, thesalesevangelist.com/mastermind. See you in the next one.